Fellas, have you ever been compared to your girlfriend or your wife, past partner? How mad did it make you? Well, in today's episode, number 209, we're talking about it. Why she compares you to her ex. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Making the Case. We're on episode number 209. Hey, thank you for coming back. For all my new subscribers or all my new viewers, my name is Dr. Jacob Isom. Excuse me, let me not be rude. Okay. We got two channel norms over here. One, we attack points and not people, and then two, we don't do all that cussing and fussing and derogatory stuff. We like to keep it professional over here. All right. So in this episode, we're talking about why your current partner, girlfriend, or spouse may compare you to their ex. Now, let's just get it out the way. It's pretty disrespectful, right? But we're gonna talk about in this episode why she may do that. And a lot of times it may be inadvertently. She's not meaning to do it. And it may be little subtle things that she do, right? Or she may be thinking that, hey, he hopefully you never hear that he was a better lover, better in bed, because that's devastating for anybody here, right? But a lot of time these thoughts will be inside your woman's head. I hate to say it, but let's just be real. We're all thinking it, right? But a lot of times, women take things the way that women view it is that, you know what, she wants the next person she deal with to be better than her last, right? Now you may be thinking, well, don't everybody? Well, for men, as long as our current partner does what we want them to do, it doesn't matter what the past person did, right? But for women, women hypergamous by nature, so they want better, right? They want their current boyfriend to make more money. They want to make love better, be more romantic, etc. Right? So when the man is kind of not living up to that better status, she will compare you and say, you know what? Well, my past boyfriend, he made sure this happened, right? So, like I said, a lot of time this will be pretty verbal, pretty expressive, and then sometimes it'll be subtle, and then sometimes she's just thinking it. All right, but it's happening whether you know it or not. Okay, so there's a certain standard that a lot of women want their partner to meet, a threshold, so to speak, right? And so a lot of times this is the reason why she's comparing you because she wants better, and particularly if she her past boyfriend did do some things that she really enjoyed. It was just other thing that caused her relationship to meet this end, and then now she's in a relationship with you and you not doing those things like her last boyfriend did. She might be expressive and tell you that. Okay, now you can say she's being honest, but at the end of the day, no man wants to hear about another man, particularly her past man. Okay. So these are some of the reasons why a woman may do something like compare you to an ex. Um, I have a couple of video clips I want to show you. We're just going to extend the conversation out as we always do. All right. So without further ado, let's get into the first clip.
I'm either.
Hey.
I'm gonna tell you something. It's both ways, and this is why both sexes match up or mess up. You think about your ex and what your ex was into, and you do that with the new person, and that might not be what they're into. Women don't take their time either.
Hey.
I'm gonna tell you something.
I can kind of I agree with that. The fact that because it's very difficult to kind of just like cut off your emotions and like because certain things are going to be burned into your memory, at least certain things that you really find interesting, certain things that you really find enjoyment in, right? Those things are going to stick with you and they're going to continue to the next relationship. It kind of just is what it is, right? So it's not that men don't do it too, but a lot of time women were attached on. That's why you always hear when a woman gets to date somebody who has high status, high quality, whatever you want to say, high value, right? Once she has that experience, now she don't want to let that experience go. She want her next man to be just as valuable, right? And even though, of course, it's easier for a woman to get to a top level man than a man to get with a top level woman, because we know women are just not giving a lot of men in general, and this goes to average women, a chance, right? So um a woman is thinking, you know what, this is the standard I'm now at. Once I reach it, even if it's one time, this is the standard I'm at. So moving forward, this is what I want. So if you don't do it, then mm, because I deserve this, that's what you're going to hear a lot, right? So that's kind of, I think, the sentiment of what he was saying. I could be wrong, but at least that's what I took from it. All right, let's get into the next clip.
Honest, it doesn't even matter how you're comparing me.
Yeah.
Because then I feel like I'm not allowed to be me. I'm not allowed to do certain things because everything that I do is like, do that in the privacy of you when you're talking to your boys or whatever the case may be. But for you to then bring it to me, why are you with me then? If all you're gonna do is compare me. That's not fair to me, because that lets me know you're still holding on to something that I have nothing to do with. So because I feel like then it's like, let's say I do something that might be a trigger point that they used to do that I have no idea that they used to do. Now you're going to be punishing me for something that I don't even know.
True.
That stuff, to me, that it's just not fair. It's not fair to do that.
So are your exes not reference points for you as you move on?
They don't know it.
Oh, so yours is, but I'm not saying
that. Me, to be honest, it doesn't even matter how you're comparing.
Wow. It seemed like she just contradicted herself, right? She said they don't know it. And what did I say at the beginning, right? It's in her head whether she verbalizes it or not, right? And so the whole notion is that our past is always, we're going to learn from it, or we're going to take it with us and have it in that backdrop in our mind saying, you know what, I'm not going to let anybody do this to me again. Or I want this. I experience this. I want this moving forward. It's either one of the two things, right? So a lot of times women will keep that in their memory bank, right? And this is the standard moving forward. You either can put up with it or you can't. But it becomes problematic when now that it's like, okay, you chose me, but now I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as your previous partner. And like she said, it is disrespectful, right? But whether you verbalize it or not, it's still disrespectful. If in your mind you thinking that, well, he's not good as my ex, why are you with him then? Right? Because he don't know about it. So he's not getting tortured by the fact, but you're getting tortured by it every single day because it's in your mind. And guess what's going to happen? That relationship is not going to reach its full potential because you keep comparing. And eventually the relationship going to end. Because once he start picking up on the cues, and once he does find out in a heat of an argument, right, and you let it slip out, now he like, you've been feeling like this the whole time. And you have. All right, let's get to our next clip.
Disrespect you by telling you that her ex treated her like a queen at all times. What you say is, one thing I never had to worry about my ex is her ever having to smell like fish. Get it? So she tries to disrespect you.
Now, fellas, I respect his opinion, but no, you don't have to go that low, right? But I will say this. You should have standards and boundaries yourself, right? Because never should you be in a relationship or put up with somebody comparing you to somebody else, right? Because I'll be honest with you, I had a situation, quick story time, right? I had a situation where I was talking to a young lady and she was mentioning that she was going to a Usher concert. And you may be knowing where I'm going with this, right? And I said, oh, okay. And I was joking, to be honest with you. I was like, don't be letting Usher kiss all in your mouth. And then she started laughing, right? And this was a perfect time to test, right? And then, I brought it back up. I was like, you never said that you wouldn't let Usher kiss you in your mouth. And she was like, I mean, like, you know, we just having fun. We would just be having fun, something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I stopped talking to her. Right now, of course, I knew that what was the likelihood of that actually happening? Probably slim to none, right? But it was just the mere fact that you'll be okay with doing something like that, even though you're talking to somebody and getting to know somebody, right? But in her mind, of course, she'd be thinking this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Technically, I'm still single, but it let me know what type of person that she would be. And she probably wouldn't change even if she was in a relationship. Right. So, fellas, you have to keep your boundaries standard. The first time you actually hear that you being compared to another man, it's time to reconsider the relationship. I'm not going to tell you you should end it, but you definitely should reconsider some things. All right. Let's go to our last clip.
She keeps comparing you to her ex. When she keeps comparing you to her ex, it's not random. It means something deeper is going on. Most of the time, it shows she hasn't fully moved on. Her mind is still stuck in that past relationship. And instead of seeing you for who you are, she's measuring you against someone else. Sometimes it's emotional baggage. Other times, it's a control tactic, subtly making you feel like you need to compete or prove yourself. And that slowly kills your confidence. But here's the truth. You're not supposed to be better than her ex. You're supposed to be different. If she keeps bringing him up, it means she's either still attached, still hurt, or unsure about you. And none of those are good signs for a healthy relationship. A woman who's truly over her past doesn't compare. She appreciates what's in front of her. Comment done if you've experienced this, and follow for more.
And man, the reason why I saved that clip for last because it kind of sums up everything we've been talking about, right? If she's comparing you, none of it looks good. Whether it's baggage, whether she unsure about you, it doesn't matter, right? That don't look good. That's why I said that it's something that you definitely need to reconsider the relationship. Now, I just wouldn't cut things off cold turkey. It really depends on how long you've been in a relationship, right? If it's in the beginning, then I will cut it off immediately. But if y'all have been together a couple years, then it's definitely a conversation to be had, and it should only be one conversation, right? Because I will say this: in certain cases, she may not be knowing that she's doing it. She may be unconscious, and it's certain things that she's saying that is comparing you that she might not be aware of. But I would say for most of the cases, it's very conscious. People know what they're doing. All right. So it's definitely a red flag. It's a sign that hey, she probably not over her ex, and it was things her ex showed her that she wish she had in you that she doesn't, right? But as the video stated, no, you're supposed to be different. You're not supposed to be like the last person because if that was the case, you'll still be with them. Okay. So I thought that was a good little video to wrap up things, man. Hey, we're gonna end the video on that. Let me know, man. Comment. What do you think? Have you compared somebody to your ex in the past, or do you think that it's a right thing to do? Let me know in the comments, man. Like, share, do all that good stuff. All right. Y'all know I always appreciate y'all for checking me on out. Hey, as always, I'm you are me. Love always, love return. Remember, the worst thing you do is lie to yourself. Deuces. One love.